Oh shit. This always happens. Hi, hold on, I'm setting things up. I've already started drinking, so maybe this is why I'm having problems. Hi. All right, everyone. I'm early, just setting things up. So give me some time. Oh, it's not going live yet. Yay, okay. Hi. Okay. I guess it's just me. Let me fiddle with the settings. It's not supposed to go live until 1. Hi everyone, happy birthday to me. It's just me right now, so I'm just gonna wait for folks to trickle in. I think I'm a little bit early. I could be wrong. I don't. My husband was making fun of me. He was saying like I should have planned something. Do I have an outline for today? I was like, no, not really. No. And yeah, that's the way I roll. And I was like totally fine with it until he started asking me like, so what are you gonna do on this live? And I was like, I don't know. So yeah, I'm just gonna sit here. If worst comes to worst, I will read my fanfic on the live, which is okay because it's my fanfic, so we won't run into like any. And I'm not gonna read like dirty ones because even I draw the line as some propriety. Like I might feel I don't feel embarrassed writing it or reading it, but I might feel embarrassed reading it out loud. So I guess I'll just wait for people. And if it's boring, I'll just delete it afterwards, right? So, or edit it. I'm pretty sure I can edit the lives. I don't know. But hi, Golden Haze. Thank you so much. So my birthday's on Friday. I'm really excited. Am I actually excited? I feel like I'm indifferent about it. I don't mind it. I don't not like it. It's better than dying. That's my usual response. So yeah. I really don't know what to talk about. Let's talk about Dynamite. I feel like let's talk about the new BTS song. Because a lot of people are making fun of me about it because I don't like it. I'm like the only person on earth who doesn't like it. It's so sad. And yeah, it's I acknowledge that it's a good hit. I realize that it's a good it's a well crafted piece of music. And it's like a very strategic for the market. I acknowledge all these things. It's just not my thing. Hi Maria. Hi Tokyo Ghoul. Thanks so much. It is a morbid start. Yes. That a lot of my friends. I don't know if you've seen this, but like every year we get older, everyone keeps saying like, "Oh, I'm getting so old. I hate getting older." But my response to that really is always just like, you either get older or you die young. Like the only way to not get old is to die young. And it is morbid, but I also feel like it's the proper perspective on things. And it's possible because I'm dead inside, and that my default mode is just sadness or like morbid thoughts. Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you, Mimi. Oh, you're so sweet. You didn't have to. I appreciate it. Wow, you're like my first super chat person. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you. I hope you have a good day. And yeah, so I really don't know what to talk about. I just wanted to hang out with you guys and or you folks. I think I'm trying to cut out guys from my vocabulary, and it's so difficult because apparently it's like gendered or something like that. But anyway, I've only had like 2 sips of vodka soda, and I've been so dehydrated lately. Hi Shayla, hi Miss Heju. That I've been so dehydrated and like lack of sleep that I think it's already hit me really. It's so sad, and I'm not that much of a lightweight. I might be Asian, but I'm not that much of a lightweight. So, does everyone have their birthday libations in hand? Actually, I shouldn't assume everyone who's watching is of age, but I feel like most people who watch me are not children, so I don't know. But yeah, so I have been up, like, I didn't go to bed until maybe like 10 or 11 last night. So I had been up from 7:30 Thursday morning all the way until yesterday, Friday night at like 10 or 11. And I was like delirious by that time. No, not even delirious. I think I was just, and so even though I slept for maybe like 5 to 6 hours last night, maybe 7, I'm totally not recovered. I used to be able to like pull all-nighters like no problem, but now I'm old and I can't do it. Iced tea count? Yes. Maria, iced tea totally counts. Hi, Beverly. Thank you so much. What am I planning for the next year? I used to be such a planner, and then the coronavirus hit, and now I'm just sort of like, oh, I just want to be here. I don't know if you guys know this, but in September, I think the 19th, I'm pretty sure it's the 19th. September 19th, it's a Saturday. I have a thing called BrAzn AZN, and it's just going to be kind of like this, except in Zoom, and I'm wanting to like have Asian influencers and creatives hang out together, have a space where we can get to know each other, and then maybe see how we can see who hits it off with whom, and just build community among Asian American and APIDA influencers and creatives. So if you find yourself in that category, please do stay tuned and check us out, because I think it would be fun, and it'd be free. I think, I'm not sure yet. Probably, most likely, or like at most like $1 to $5 or something like that. Let's see. Oh, hi Consuelo, thank you so much. Miss Heju asks, when you are dehydrated, what is your favorite beverage? Probably water. It's really boring, but it works. But sometimes I can't drink straight up water because it's not sweet. I don't even like sweet things, but sometimes I need something, a little bit of sweetness, for my brain to think it's not thirsty. So sometimes I'll water down juice because I feel like full juice is too sweet. This is how I know I'm Asian. That's how I don't know. I don't know how Jungkook can drink banana milk, because that stuff is so sweet, and I can't handle it. So I have like so many libations next to like in the like my bedside table. I was like, what is that word? So I have water, and then double tea bagged No dirty joke meant, no dirty joke intended. Tea, Earl Grey, preferred. And then all my like containers are like Infinity swag or Comcast swag because I've worked with them so much in the past that they give me stuff. And you know what? It's great. Their swag is great. And then I have, the Xfinity. Dude, this is so handy. It's like a tumbler and it has like a little mouthpiece thing. And I was like, it's like those wine glass chillers. It's so they give me like a whole set. And it's excellent. It's so excellent. So this is vodka and soda and ice. And then like if you get the type of essential oils you can ingest. So I buy doTERRA. So I always put in a few dabs of like drops of either lime, lemon, or wild orange. So have I tried coconut water? I have. Maybe I have the wrong kind. I just buy the cartons from like, what I do is is it coconut water or coconut milk? Is that the same? Different? I don't know. That I don't know. Oh, Golden Haze, you use doTERRA too? Yeah. I use this one. So I have the lime and the wild orange. And yes, I do indeed have I was so lazy, people. I have a bottle of San P. And, Kirkland size. This actually does, I'm not an alcoholic, I promise. I don't actually drink very often. But when I do drink, it is next to my bed. And I've reached the level of quarantine, pandemic quarantine, where I have, I have vodka. I have a giant Costco-sized bottle of vodka, a 1.75 liter bottle next to my bed. So that's... Wow, I've really reached that point in my life. But anyway. Okay, so Golden Haze and Maria say that coconut water and milk are different. Okay, well, that's good to know. I think it's the coconut water that I buy at Costco. I'm not sure. Oh, Miss Jungkook still has a body that must burn calories. Yeah, we could help him burn calories. It's not fair. Like it's just so unfair. Like I don't know about you, but like I used to have just like this insane metabolism, and I could eat what I used to. My friends and we used to go out to like diners at like 1 or 2 in the morning. Thank you so much, Josie. So when we were at UCLA, we would either go to there used to be a Norms, which is like a Denny's but better, on I think it was Lincoln. Was it Lincoln? Either way, it was in Santa Monica. Or we go to the Norms by the West Side Pavilion, and we would go there at like 1 or 2 in the morning, and I would order a steak and eggs, and because steak and eggs at 1 or 2 in the morning is awesome. Eggs over medium. It's very important. I hate scrambled eggs when they're made in diners because they're always runny. And when I make eggs that are kind of runny, it's okay because I did it. But like when diners serve me food that's sort of runny, I'm just like, oh, is this not? And then I just think of gross things. Not the same. Coconut water is like unsweetened syrup. Yes, coconut water is gross. I'll drink it because, if someone gives you things, you should drink it and not complain. But I would not personally go out of my way to be like, this is what I want to drink. So, I can taste the alcohol. And I pretty much... So this live might just devolve very quickly. I don't know. I just don't know. I guess it makes it kind of exciting. I can't be too drunk because I'm supposed to go out tonight, I think. But the air quality right now in California is very, very bad, or Bay Area, California anyway, because we've had so many fires. So last weekend, it was 105 on Saturday and 105 on Sunday. It was like over 100, maybe 102 on Monday, and it was in the hundreds on Tuesday, and like in the high 90s on Wednesday. The reason why I tell you all these temperatures is my air conditioner went out on Friday night, or maybe Saturday morning. And so I've been like, and you can't go anywhere, right? Because normally in a pre-lockdown era, you just go somewhere with air conditioning. It's fine. But we couldn't go anywhere. My mom's house, her air conditioning the top floor went out. So it's not like we could sleep there because all the bedrooms are on the top floor except hers. So yeah, we've been baking, and it didn't get fixed till like Wednesday. Someone was supposed to come to my house Sunday, but they did not. It was a whole ordeal. And so my children complained, and then we couldn't even open the windows. We finally were able to open the windows, but because of all the fires, so the air quality was really, really bad. On the few, maybe like 1 or 2 nights, the air quality was like moderate, so I opened the windows. But it was like 89. No, I think it got as high as 92 inside my room, inside my house. And it was bad. So I don't think I'm fully recovered from that yet. And then today, the air quality, it's like 80, it's in the mid 80s already. Like my AC is going off. Thank God. Thank God for AC. And that was fixed. $575 later, it was fixed. And they're like, oh, you should, your unit is really old because this house was built in 2003. So I haven't switched it out. So it's probably, you guys math for me, 17 years old, right? So this house is about 17 years old. And they're like, you should think about replacing your air conditioner. And I was like, okay, well, depending on how much more the air conditioning unit was compared to like fixing it. I'm so sorry. This is what my life is about. This is my life, guys. This is what middle-aged people talk about. And they're like, it'll be $9,000 to replace your air conditioning unit. And I was like, okay, I think I'm okay with paying, because the last time I had to fix my air conditioner was 10 years ago, or almost around exactly the same time. So I'd much rather pay $575 every decade to fix this unit than to pay $9,000 to fix it. So anyway, oh, you're in San Diego? Golden Hayes says she's in San Diego and it's been hot and humid. Oh, San Diego's not usually humid though, right? Because you're on the ocean. Usually it's not so bad. Miss Hedges drinks aloe vera drink, especially on an upset stomach. Oh, that's nice. You know, I started getting aloe vera in my boba drinks instead of boba because it's not as sweet. But I feel like when I can't justify paying like $5 for tea that's cold. But I don't always get boba because it's just sugar. And I gained 20 pounds last year, and I would like to not gain that back. Thank you so much, Enlightened. Yeah, so I started getting aloe vera because it's not as sweet, and it's still like I feel like I'm eating something. But then I switched to chia seeds, which is just disgusting. But it's filling because you drink it, and then it fills you because it expands, and then you feel like you've gotten something in your drink, but it's not like bad for you, and it helps you poop. Maybe poop is also important at this age. Poop is always important, but it becomes more important the older you get. Oh, this lot. I don't understand why people watch. My lives are pretty like, what am I talking about? All right. Let's see. Beverly says, everything's breaking at your house. Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, in California, the law is that the builder is responsible for the things that break in your house, or like certain things like until 10 years. And in my neighborhood, it was all new builds in 2003, 2004. And at 2013, everybody's stuff broke. Like, the plumber came to my house 4 times in a month. For those of you who have paid for plumbers, it is not cheap. And it was ridiculous. Thanks. Hi, Crystal. Thank you so much. But Crystal, let's be real. You watch because you love me and we're friends in real life. Maria says, Bills poop. You're such a grown up. It's true. Ooh, tapioca. The tapioca, though, is really, it just goes straight to my ass. And I don't enjoy that. Yeah. Oh, tapioca is the boba. Oh, fun fact. Boba is slang in Taiwanese for boobs because they're round balls. And so when you say we're going to have boba, you're actually saying you're going to have boobs. And I find that very, very funny. So Crystal calls me Smog. She said she loves me and called me Smog because folks in my group chat, because I really love jewelry. I love shiny things. So, for instance, do you guys want to see shiny things? Let's see shiny things. I bought this like cute little cat ears clip, back in Taiwan last year. But it's so stupid because I have no hair. So like can I use it? It actually works pretty well. But I mean, I I clearly don't need a clip. I bought it for my daughter, but she does not approve. Okay, so let's look at bling. Why not? So they call me Smog because I am always sending them like screenshots of like, so Facebook ads just knows that I love jewelry, and I'm always clicking on those ads, which just guarantees you more ads of that kind. So I'm always looking at dresses, which I never buy, and then jewelry, which I sometimes buy. And so I love shiny things. I love jewelry, and I used to make fun of my mom. She used to buy me jewelry, and I'd be like, "Oh, why are you buying me jewelry?" And then I regret not saying yes to more of her jewelry. And so they call me Smog because I hoard jewelry, and like dragons do, and Smog from Lord of the Rings. So this is one of my favorites. I got this in Taiwan. Oh, can you see? Oh, am I supposed to do like the YouTube thing? And then it's all crystals, and you could probably see me wear it, but I really, really like it. Is this how we do this? I don't know. I'm not a YouTuber, but yeah. So I really like this one. And then we have like super cheap crap that I got in Taiwan for like $5 US because Taiwan's awesome. It's like this. Look at this. This is so fun. Look at this. I don't even know. It's like a little flower. Is it even working? And then it's already fallen off. It's already chipped off because my awful children have broken things. This was maybe like $3 to $5 US. And then have I been to a store called Twinkle? It's all shiny jewelry? I love shiny jewelry. No, I haven't. In Taiwan or in America? This is from Nitty Thomas. Oh, Maria says I am a YouTuber. I suppose you're right. I suppose I actually am a YouTuber. But, so this one, it's an East Coast? Yeah, I've never been. And then this is also, all these rings are like $3 to $5. And then because Taiwan has tiny humans, like all the grown people are tiny, so like, and have like thin fingers, it's always really hard for me to find jewelry because I have fat fingers and my fingers are not tiny. So this one is also, this ring reminds me of Wonder Woman, like a tiara kind of thing. I don't know. And then isn't this the content you guys signed up for? This one. So all these are like $5. How can you not buy all of them because they're $5? Look at this. This is so fantastic. And it's all because of freaking like K-pop. And I'm like, and I've always liked these things. Actually, prior to K-pop, I didn't buy like like cheap jewelry. I would buy like expensive jewelry because I'm a bougie person, guys. But then because of K-pop, I was like, ooh, I like that aesthetic. And so I bought all these like K-pop things. These I got for free. Was it actually free? It's because I went to these are earrings. Let me see. Well, because I went to a blogging conference and they give you swag. And so I get swag. And then, this was not $5. This was the same place that I bought the pop one. So this one. But see, like, it's so cute. I love shiny things. All right. Hi, Emma. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you so much, Bijou. Let's see. Oh, Anya. My best friend and I, who are 20, send your reaction videos to each other whenever they come out. Oh, thanks so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. Oh, now I'm embarrassed. Okay. I have, well, no one wants to see my engagement ring. No one cares about that. So I really like this one. She's Jelly Ultra on Twitter, Jelly Ultra. And then look, it's like I also have like a necklace by her. They're like all honeycombs. And she does like enamel pins if you're into that. Of course, I have the Army BTS rings that I have now started wearing on my ring finger instead of my engagement ring and wedding ring because yeah. and then my pride and joy, the ring from that Suga wore for a while, which I got which I bought. You can go on their site. I forget what they were called, but it's the Hangman's Noose ring, and Chris was like, there it is. And then, thank you so much, Adrienne. Yes, turning 42 on Friday. It's very exciting. Very exciting. All right. Oh, tiny human, like tiny hands, like Jimin. I don't. I actually have very large fingers or thick fingers. Oh, I would be remiss if I didn't show off my group chat's charm bracelet. It says TT for Thirst Third, and then there's a little ghost. Oh, is it backwards? It's backwards. There's a little ghost charm because we thirst so much in the chat, and we always say, who said that? It was the ghost in the chat, and so we're very cute. And then, ooh, my friend, you should check her out. I'll leave the links later, but she is Pew Pew Lasercraft, and she makes these secret geek or secret nerd things. So this is a Esmeralda flower that she laser engraved onto wood, and she also has like she's made army earrings where it's the army logo, so you can either wear them as army logo or you can wear them as BTS logo. So she also made these earrings, like you can see, and she does custom stuff. Oh, I should have brought. Oh, so she made me. She's one of my best friends. I've known her since the 7th grade. And you should definitely, she's going to have a YouTube channel where she and her husband are going to be remodeling their house. And like her husband made like a teardrop trailer from scratch. Scratch? Is it scratch? I don't know. And, but like made it. And so she made me an advent calendar. And so on the top of the advent calendar is lasered BTS's faces. And then you open up each like advent day. And then behind it is a picture of BTS. And it is like every day is a new picture of BTS. And my kids use it as a puzzle. And I'm like, what are you doing? And it's just great. Thank you so much, Beverly. Yeah, you can get it from her shop, the Pew Pew Lasercraft. Let me see if I can drop it in. Apparently, I have the ability to go on the internet. Let me see. Let's see. Pew Pew Lasercraft. Yeah, I've had like 4 sips of vodka, and this might be dangerous. Pew Pew Lasercraft. So she'll take requests, and so she can make new things. Like she's lasered. So a woman's husband passed away, and so she laser engraved her husband's like either signature or I love you in writing, and then like engraved it in something for her. Yeah, here, I'll drop it in the chat. Yeah, you should definitely get it. I don't know if it's posted on her site, but you can definitely tell her that I sent you. I'm pretty sure my code still works. Mandarin Mama, I think you get free shipping. And then my friends in Taiwan, they're there for the, well, they were stuck there because of the pandemic. They sent me a care package, and look at this cute. Look at this. Look at how cute this is. Look at this. They sent me Sugar because he's my bias. It's so cute. And I think you hang it on your purse, but I just have it next to my bedside because I don't go outside anymore. I just never go outside. But one day and then let's see. Oh, there's a lot of Spanish or Portuguese, so I don't know. Oh, Miss Heju lives in Europe. Oh, you live in Paris? I have friends in Paris. And then my prized possession made by one of my group chat friends. Oh, did I freeze? Okay. It's the best thing ever. I refuse to light it because I don't want to use it up. But look at it. It's like a Saint iconography candle. And it's but it's sugar. Isn't this the most awesome thing ever? It's my favorite. And so I look at it every night and pray to it. I was hoping to like test the theory that it could be like the Guardian, where you light the candle and then poof, sugar shows up. Like how awesome would that be? Anyway, all right. All right. Well, now I'm embarrassed. but yeah, isn't the candle great? It's like my favorite. It makes me so happy. And then, of course, I have my kitty ears for when my hair was like ajusi length, and I felt embarrassed about it, and then I would put it on. I might as well wear them since it's my birthday. Or, do you guys celebrate your birthdays for the whole month, for the whole week of your birthday, or just that day? Because I tend to celebrate my birthday for the majority of August, like the latter half of August, and I will also claim parts of September, like up to like half of September, because you know, thank you so much, Brianna, because my birthday's at the end of August, and so usually people don't celebrate early; they celebrate either the day of or after. And so since my birthday's at the end of August, it's on the 28th, then I get to claim parts of September because people can't always meet right away, right? Well, that was before like the pandemic happened. So I have, and so like for friends, we have people who like plan surprise Zooms for them or like do videos. But I don't think my friends do that because I'm like so unsentimental, and that's okay. And I don't. I'm worried that if I waited for it to happen and then it didn't happen, then I'd be disappointed. I'm like totally like this awful mixed messages person. And so I've planned lots of Zooms for myself. I like emailed, I was like, because one of my friends, his wife, she's also my friend. But she, every year for his birthday, she plans these like a whole weekend of like elaborate festival games things. And then like this year for his birthday, she got like this trans striptease group from like the UK or Europe, and it was on Zoom. And so it was like it was a Zoom party, and then she hired entertainment, and they were like trans strippers or something. Or like a burlesque show or some type of thing. And it was just like, it was awesome. But my husband would never, first of all, he would never. And then I would never plan anything for my husband. This is why we were a good pair, because we were just like the least sentimental humans on earth. The last romantic thing my husband did for me was when we first started dating, and he cleaned my apartment, washed my dishes, and bought me a kitchen table because I had to give my kitchen table back to my ex. So that was the last time he did something romantic for me. And that was right after Thanksgiving, or it was Thanksgiving or Christmas of 2001. I'll let you do the math. That was 19 years ago. Not that I've counted. See, Southern Sassy says month. So, and then, let's see. Brianna says, I celebrate my birthday throughout December as I was born 4 days before Christmas. Oh, yeah. You get all of December and you get January because people are always so busy during the holidays. So you get 2 months. And then Miss Hedju asked, will you all go to the movies and see Bring the Soul and Break the Silence? No, I am not. I did get the email from Trafalgar to go. Oh, it's actually on my birthday. So the 28th, 29th, and 30th, they're re-releasing Bring the Soul. And I'm not going to go. And here's why. It's because I have 4 kids. My mom's old. And I don't want to get anyone sick. And I think the Bay Area is okay, but I don't really trust other people, especially like, so no, I'm not going. I don't even know if it's open actually, but even if it were, I would not. And here's my justification. The Soul in the theaters 3 times. The first time I brought 3 of my children, so that's 4 tickets, and then I watched the next 2 times by myself. That's 5. No, I can't math. See already, okay? And then I bought it when it was available on Weavers, Vlog. Own it. So no, I am not gonna go risk getting the coronavirus to go watch a movie I've already seen in the theater. But if it's safe for you to go, I should say you should go see it, right? Miss Hedges says, if there's cake I celebrate, I usually get presents. Ooh, what kind of presents do you like getting? I don't like getting presents because I feel embarrassed. But I also like getting presents if they're thoughtful, because who doesn't like getting presents? But I don't usually exchange presents. I don't even buy presents for my kids because we have too much crap. Can you imagine? I have 4 children. If we have a no present rule. Do you guys have? If you have kids, do you guys have your kids have presents for their birthday? I don't because I'm a horrible person. But it's also, can you imagine though? Because I have 4 children. So every year, let's say you have a party and 10 kids are invited. So that means that's 40 new things in my house every year. I would die. My house, I would show you my room, except it is like an embarrassment of trash. Like my house, it's just like a giant storage facility. It's just crap everywhere, and it's embarrassing. And so I don't. I can't do it. So we have a rule where people don't bring presents. If they do, I think when we were first starting the rules out and people were unsure about it, I would have people bring canned goods, and so then I would donate it to the local food bank. So if people felt like guilty about coming empty-handed, I trained them first by bringing like canned goods or things, and then I would. So I think one year I dropped off like 100 pounds of food because people felt bad. But then they got used to it. Crystal says, my sisters and I decided no presents because we're lazy. Is it lazy though? I think it's just efficient, right? Like, I feel like at this point in my life, to quote Ariana Grande, I saw it, I want it, I bought it. Like, and most things that I want are like reasonably priced, unless if it's like BTS merch, and then it's so expensive. But I buy it because I like it. Beverly Lazar asks, so will the movie be a consolidated version of the Break the Silence series? No, it's a the new Break the new material. It follows it has all their movies are on the same tour as their series, but then they add new information to it, I think, and there's like a plot. I don't know how to explain it. I'm explaining poorly, and I'm just holding this drink and not drinking it. It's a travesty. Let's see. Southern Sassy is turning 52 on September 20th. Very nice. All right, and let's see. Did I miss anything? Oh, Maggie's going with 2 fellow Noona armies you've never met before. Ooh, have fun. Meeting real life army is super fun. I get kind of nervous about it or wary about it, but it's a lot of fun, especially if you've like chatted in real life or no, like chatted online, and then you feel like you're not actually meeting them for the first time, but like you're just meeting up people that you already kind of know. So it's been so like Crystal in the chat, like we met because through Reddit. Because we were all going to the Rose Bowl concerts last year when I took 2 of my middle 2 children, my sandwich-filling kids. And it was great. And I've met her. I've even stayed over at her house. I invited myself to stay at her house to go see the museum exhibit when they had the exhibit with like the Omelas and then all the like, you see all the like mic drop outfits, and it was really cool. So she took me for a second time. She went already, and then she went again with me. And drove me around and stuff. And I stayed at her house. She didn't invite me. I invited myself to stay at her house. And by that time, she probably felt bad. So she's the MVP. Emma says, safer not to go to the movie theater. Still a little unsure if it's really safe. Yeah, I try not to go outside. I go to Costco like once a month and like buy everything. It's like $700 every time I go. Beverly's asking about the new one. The new one doesn't come out until September 28th, and I have no... Why do I know that date? I think it's that date. God. I can't remember my children's birthdays, but I can remember, like, the days BTS movies come out. It's so sad. But I really don't think the U.S. is going to have its shit together, so I don't really want to go. Crystal, you're so sweet. Joyce Dance Cover says, you're so cool. That's very nice of you to say. I swear to you, I'm only cool online in small doses. My family does not think I'm cool. Brianna says, my younger sister is an army. I myself am an OT7. She's 12, and I'll be 30 in December. I'm considered a 30-plus fan. Congratulations, Brianna. Join us. We are fantastic. Your sister is lucky to have you in her life so that you can buy her merch, because when you're 12, you have no money. Golden Haze asked, did you watch In the Soup first episode? Yes, I did watch In the Soup first episode. And why are they so attractive? It's really not fair. I approve of June's like obsession with sleeveless shirts. He should wear them more often. And I'm in love with Jin. Yeah, Crystal says she guarantees the U.S. won't have their shit together, and you're absolutely right. Materi Duska says, happy birthday. Thank you so much, and don't worry about being late. I wasn't really talking about anything interesting anyway. So, Miss Heju is going to see both. The rules are strict in Paris, but people more or less still, I don't know, Crystal. Crystal says the Jin cult welcomes me, and she says this in public on the chat for everyone to see, but I know for a fact that she does not like sharing. And Jin is my wrecker, and she refuses to share him. So I see you for what you are, Crystal. Just all talk. Yes, Joyce, I notice you. And then Brianna says the Hyung line will be the death of her. You know, the Hyung line. Yeah, Suga's my bias, and Jin's my wrecker, and they're the oldest, and I think I definitely feel the least creepy standing them, because in my mind, I feel like I'm stuck at like 20. No, I used to think for the longest time I felt like my mental age was 28. Now I feel like my mental age is like 32 to 34. But let's be real, I'm really actually not that young. So yeah, I did watch In the Soup. I thought it was really, really funny, and it just made me happy to see them, like be happy and relax and play games and do all sorts of stuff. And I find it hilarious that like Jin is the one asking for like the most ridiculous things. He asked for like, oh, if you haven't seen, I'm so sorry. I'm like talking about spoilers. Thank you so much. Steph J says happy birthday. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So I don't want to like cause any spoilers, but yeah, I really love watching them be normal people. Emma says my mental age is 25 and my real age is blinked out. So it is 28th of August for Bring the Soul and 11th September in Break the Silence. Got it. Oh yes, I think Paris gets it earlier than the U.S. I think certain countries get it earlier than other countries. So, you're so lucky. You'll have to tell us how it is. So yeah, I mean, I really want to see it. It's funny because I feel like I was telling people that like comebacks make me sad because there's so much content, and I'm reminded that they're actually superstars and famous, right? Because like in between like comebacks, you know, they're on like all these shows, they're being interviewed, they're, you know, pulling out all stops to like promote their stuff, they're on talk shows, they're on everything, right? Like normal people aren't on, like regular everyday people aren't on Good Morning America or like the James Corden show or Jimmy Fallon show, or like Music Bank or performing or awards shows and stuff. So like then that's when I remember like, oh yeah, we're not actually friends. Oh right, they don't know who I am. They won't know me ever. I'll never meet them. Like, and then I just get sad. It just is like downward spiral. So I always like, sometimes I space out because like I only just started watching the performances on like the music shows, because so I was like screaming about it 5 months later, because it was just too painful to be reminded that they're famous and I'm not famous. but like, you know what? Do you, I don't know. Am I just like making things up? Do you guys feel the same way? Because of course I loved all the content, but like when it's not comeback season, if they're not like releasing a song or like somewhere like doing something like famous, then like all the content feels really intimate, right? Like the lives, like, you know, the lives are just like making jewelry. Like they could literally, you could just pretend that you're in another room and they're in, and if you just, might be delusional. Oh, Miss Hedger's going because there's no concert. Hi, Christine. She says happy birthday. She turned 60 in July. Oh, happy birthday. 60 is a good year. It's a very special year. It's in Korean culture, and I think Chinese culture too. And let's see what else. Oh, is it? Oh, you're in Scotland. Is it? Is it? Is it? Are there a lot of like cases in Scotland? Let's see. Oh, yes, you should order the soup. And then, oh, good. Golden Haze says she totally relates, and Christine also relates. Oh, good. I'm not. Yeah, I felt kind of like I was like, am I like this close to being a sasaeng? I would never, because I like money too much, and I would never spend the type of money to like buy information about people, because that's weird. And also consent's important. So let's see. Beverly Lazar says, did you hear South Korea is instilling more restrictions, no large groups? Oh, thinking their concert will be off now. And yeah, I heard, yeah, because I think their cases went up. And so but Taiwan had a concert, because Taiwan is one of the few countries with their shit together. And, you know, I was supposed to be in Taiwan. Well, I would be back by now, but I was supposed to be in Taiwan because I usually take my kids back to Taiwan every summer. And January, I usually buy stuff in January and February. And this year, for some reason, I procrastinated. And I was already in talks to get my Airbnb. I've been to this. I usually stay in the same place every year, and so they always check with me first to see to give me first choice, because I stay for about 4 to 6 weeks. And this year I backed out because I was like, I was about to send over money, and then I was like, hey, I don't know. And this was January, so it hadn't really jumped over to the U.S. very much yet, or we weren't really thinking about it. And so all my family members in Taiwan were like, don't come back. It's not safe. The irony is, it's the safest place to be right now. You should have just gone and stayed. So I have 2 sets of friends who, they're also homeschoolers like I am. And they went back, they usually go back to Taiwan January, February to like April for like 2 months, because it's the cooler time, and it's not as hot. And so, but they've been stuck there. Well, stuck voluntarily. So they've been there since, I think late January. And then their plane tickets got canceled. So one of my friends, she's a Taiwanese citizen. She has dual citizenship, so she's just staying. And she applied a long time ago for her kids to also be citizens, so they can just stay indefinitely. But my other friend, she has to go to the embassy every few weeks to like renew her visa. And so Taiwan's just pushing back, letting people extend their visas because it's not safe for them to go somewhere else. And her plane tickets got canceled anyway, so she hasn't seen her husband since January. And he can't visit because he's not a Taiwanese citizen. Let's see. Southern Sassy says, I can so understand how that happens. They seem like our friends, and no way would I have international superstar friends. Right? Right? Brianna says, because of increasing cases, my fiance and my wedding was postponed, but it's okay. Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I've had people attend Zoom weddings. So I hope you get your deposits back, or is it just carried over? I'm so sorry. That's so hard. Miss Hedju says, last time they were talking Korean, I was thinking we cannot understand each other. Yes, I always think I understand Korean. And then I watch an actual live with no subs, and I'm like, oh, I don't understand Korean. Hi, Tina. Hello, my queen. Tina is the admin mod, the queen mod for one of my other group chats, and she's fantastic. Hi, Tina. She says, happy birthday. Thank you so much. I was about to go to bed, but I had to come by and say hi. Ah, yes. You probably should sleep. This is probably not going to be as interesting as sleep. Oh, Christine says, all the weddings I had booked for this year have been canceled too. Oh, are you a wedding planner? Or like an event planner or a photographer? Oh, that is so hard. I'm actually friends with a DJ who DJ'd my wedding. Or became friends. Business acquaintances? Whatever. We're friends on Facebook. And he's had to like figure out new things for his stuff because he obviously cannot DJ. Oh, you're a priest. Well, I would have never. Yeah. Wow, that's awesome. Episcopalian, probably, maybe Catholic. No, you can't be Catholic. They don't allow women Catholic priests. You know, I always think I know a lot about things until I like speak out loud, and then I realize no, don't know very much about things. But that's super cool. Oh, Scottish Episcopal. Oh, see, I did say Episcopal. Miss Hedges says Taiwan is rumored very clean. It is. It is. When I was a kid, it was not very clean. It was like really super dirty. And so I always associated with being dirty and like hot. And it's still hot, but it's so clean now. It's like amazing. And people, you know what's weird? I don't know if this is the case in other Asian countries, but in Taiwan, there are very few public trash cans. And yet, no trash anywhere. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. I'm like, do people just have purses full of trash that they just like sneak into like their house? And then you have to pay trash bags. And I think Korea does that too. But like, oh, do you guys want to hear about the trash system in Taiwan? This is how you know. You guys, this is the content you sign up for. I know. But in Taiwan, because there's so many like little alleys, and the way they like do addresses is very interesting. So they like take a large street. So like the main street, like the large streets, that's your first cross section. So you like kind of triangulate your place. And then they have like alleys off of each that are like perpendicular to those big streets. And so they'll say like which section of that big street you are on. And then they have like other tiny streets perpendicular to the big street. And those are also like marked with certain numbers. And so then when someone tells you their address, you can pinpoint almost exactly where they are if you know the area, because they'll tell you like off of which big road, which direction, and then like which ordinal it is, like which section of that road, and then like which like pocket, like anyway. So garbage trucks cannot get in through these tiny streets because they're so tiny. So what happens is every night you'll hear like, it's like the ice cream truck songs, and they'll play like these songs, and then every night, depending on your neighborhood, at a certain time, you see people running out with their trash, and then you have certain bags that you pay for. You have to pay for special garbage bags. It's not like here, you just like buy some garbage bag, but there's specifically marked garbage bags that you pay for, and each bag is like $5 or something, and then you run and chase after the garbage person and you give them their garbage. And then they'll yell at you if you didn't properly sort it. And I had to do that in 2013 when we went back to Taiwan for the first time with my friend. And I hated it. It was so like it was like so frustrating, and it was so like awful. And so I'm very, very, and then I think I did it again January in 2014. But then this new place that I have, their apartment building has a designated trash area, and they'll do it for you. And I far prefer those things because I'm a wussy American, guys. I'm wussy. Thank you, Miss Hedgie, for bringing up a topic of which I spoke at length about. My husband always asks, like, what do you talk about on these lives? And now I'll get to tell him. I talked about throwing away garbage in Taiwan, and people were probably not fascinated. Let's see. Emma says, here in Wales, where I am, our virus cases are falling. 5 new cases, 1 death. So I feel bad for other countries that have more cases and having another lockdown. Emma, you shouldn't have to feel bad, because like the U.S. is a trash fire. It's a dumpster fire because our leaders are idiots, and some of our citizens. Brianna asked, how would you feel if you met your bias in real life? My sister asks this, and she would faint if she met her bias. She's JK bias, by the way. I would cry. And also die. But mostly I would just cry. I would try not to cry, but I'd be like so excited and just really want to thank them. Like, I'm assuming this is not like I saw them on the street and was trying not to stalk them and take like some weird picture, right? Like, I assume this is like at some meet and greet, or like maybe it's like some official interview of some capacity, because I do interviews and stuff. So I'm assuming it's like that, or like some Zoom thing, or like whatever. And I would cry. I would start off not crying, and I'd be like mid thanking Suga for like his work and how much it means to me, and how like his music was helpful for me when I set my life on fire right before I turned 40. And then I would cry. And then, Golden Hayes asks, what would you want to say to BTS if you ever got the chance to meet them? Pretty much, I would just want to thank them for how much they mean to me, how they gave me the courage to go after the things that I wanted, and to chase after things, and to remind me that it's never too late. And then I'll cry. Okay. Let's see. Maria says, when I lived in upstate New York, the garbage bags were $3 or $5 for the garbage bags, but the recycle bags were free. If the recycles were not standard, they would not collect, so you couldn't cheat. No kidding. Oh. No, here we have, you can pay for like the standard huge size garbage and recycling things. I think I can have the tiny garbage one. And then, or you can like pay for like the super huge things. And then you take them out every week, and then these giant, so we have compost, gardening stuff, and then recycles, and then regular trash. And then every Wednesday morning, very loud garbage trucks come by. My brother lives in DC, and they have 2 trash pickups a week, which I find fascinating. And then let's see. Oh, Maria says, we're doing it to ourselves. College students return to town this week, so we'll see what happens in 2 weeks. Oh my God. I don't even understand college students having to go back to school. That's like, first of all, dormitories are just like a hotbed of like, do you remember like when meningitis was like sweeping through all the colleges because everyone was just like making out and it was just like spreading through everybody? I got mono my freshman year from like, I wasn't even doing anything fun. I think I just shared a cup with someone. I mean, if you're gonna get mono, it should be from like fun things. Southern Sassy is laughing. I presume it's from the quality content. And let's see. Miss Hedges says, my guess is Jimin, being an A-level student, he must like to be around brilliant and hardworking people that are smart. Shanna says, happy birthday, Virginia. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Brianna says, I would rather meet idols in concerts and meet and greets than to outright stalk them. I'm against sassing behavior. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like if you're just walking around the street and run into them, I wouldn't. That seems very rude. And also scary, because I've actually had that happen to me. For those of you who don't know, I am also a blogger, and I blog and I write about Chinese, like teaching kids Chinese. So, and I run a very, very, it's like maybe 8,500 people right now, a group of parents who are raising their kids bilingual, at least, in Chinese and English. And so because I post pictures of my kids on my Instagram, that's public for work, and then I've used my children for campaigns and things. So last year in Taiwan, I got recognized on the streets a few times with my children in tow. Sometimes, a few times people were like, "Oh, I recognized your children," and then we recognized you, and then or I've been stopped in like subway stops. And obviously, these are all parents, right? These are like normal people like me, right? Like parents, and they have their children with them. But even then, it was like scary, So I can only imagine if you're like a celebrity, like an actual celebrity, how scary that would be for people to like kind of stalk you or follow you or talk to you when you're just trying to like get milk. Emma says, if I met my bias V, I'd let you know how I felt meeting him once I come around from passing out. Right? We just pass out. Christine says, we used to buy tags for your garbage, and recyclables were picked up free, as was garden waste. Oh. So then Sassy says, you are going to interview them. It is going to happen. Yes. I did not put a timeline on this. So it could be, when they're 40 and I'm 60. And I'll just be, an actual harmony. And that'll be fine. So yeah, I suppose I should be more specific. I would like to do it either before they go to the military or after everybody comes back. Let's see. Oh, Brianna says, I remember the meningitis outbreak when I was in high school. We even received warnings. And then Southern Sassy says, we're idiots being led by sociopathic idiots here in America. Yes, we are. They're not even idiots. I think it's very strategic, and they're systematically trying to ruin our country. Golden Haze says, I would thank them too, but my bias sugar, I don't think I would be able to talk. Golden Haze, you have a great bias. Let's see. Yes, so everyone, if you're in the United States, please vote. If you're mailing in your ballot, please mail it in very early, because someone is trying to disenfranchise the U.S., defund the U.S. Post Office. That's been fun. Let's see. Maria says, yeah, we just had a notice on the ACE Fan Cafe about not showing up to scheduled locations. They had some serious issues this spring, so their agency is taking things pretty seriously. What is wrong with people? Like, don't show up to places where it's creepy, okay? Like, it's creepy. Don't do it. Don't do it. So, yes. I'm not a religious leader, so it's okay for me to be partisan on my channel. All right, I'm going to take a sip of water. Let's see. Is there... We took a serious turn there from, like, poop and, like, air conditioning fixing. I see. Oh. Excuse me. You know, like, when you drink too much water and it, like... Or, like, too much of something and it just goes down your throat like this huge glob, and you're like, I can't breathe, and then you'd have to burp or something, but you're alive, and it's no one wants to hear that. So yeah, that's what happened just now. Let's see. Okay, so everyone, let's vote. Okay, so I can probably stick around for another 15 minutes or so, because it's already 2 o'clock. I can't believe it's already 2 o'clock. I can't believe you guys have been sitting here with me for an hour. You're MVPs, wonderful humans. Any questions you want from me? Any groups you want me to react to? More scintillating commentary on perhaps sprinklers. I grow figs in my backyard, and there's so many of them. They're taking like forever to turn black, and that makes me sad because I love figs. I'm allergic to them, I've discovered, but I will still eat them. I feel like, so I'm allergic to like the fuzz on the skin, so if I peel them, it's not so bad. And then, like, peaches, I'm also allergic to. So I usually eat nectarines, but the fuzz is what I'm allergic to. It makes, like, my throat all scratchy and stuff. Crystal hates figs? You know, I understand that. I used to hate them. But they're so figgy and delicious. Especially when they're, like, super ripe and they're, like it's like eating candy. It's delicious. Delicious. So I was thinking that I could read one of my fanfics out loud. Not the dirty kind, because I would be embarrassed. But if you guys want, I'll do that. Otherwise, I'll answer questions, or we can talk more about, like, garbage disposals. Did I tell you how to fix my garbage disposal? I had to get a new one. This is the second time I've had to get a new one. It's because the water in our area is really hard. So it just really ruins. Like, I have to get, like, a new shower head every few years because it just gets destroyed. Maria says, you know I'm going to harass you mercilessly come September 2nd. So just get ready. Also, no matter who you stand, everyone should check out the ACE concept photos. Yes, those are fantastic. Maria DM'd them to me, and they're just like underwater, and it's like the most amazing thing I've ever seen. It's beautiful. And Beverly says, do it. I presume you're talking about the fanfic? In that case, I might. It'll take about like 10-15 minutes to read. And then Brianna says, I like figs. Fig Newtons are my mom's. Oh, Fig Newtons are delicious. I didn't like them as a kid, but I like them as an adult. Read it out. All right. And then Crystal had a tree as a kid and ate so much. Oh, I understand that. I get that. Christine says, great to take part. Thank you for your honesty and being an example for me falling down the BTS rabbit hole 2 months ago. You're a new army. Welcome. Yay. This is exciting. This is exciting. And oh, you have to go. Okay. Oh, I think my husband. That's my garage. You're not so new, Christine. So our alarm system like beeps anytime the door opens. Christine, everyone started new. I was brand new in January of 2018, and that was almost 3 years ago. I can't believe it's almost 3 years. Dear Lord, won't my husband just fucking open the door, keep it open until he has to close it? Dear Jesus. Southern Sassy says, I'm pretty cool outwardly when I've met famous people, but meeting RM, my bias, I would be screaming inside as I seemed cool. Yes, I have met famous people before also. And it is pretty screamy. Oh, I did meet Eric Nam at his last U.S. concert before his tour was shut down. And he was super nice and super cool. And I got to thank him for being such a great example of showing us that Asian Americans can be music stars and entertainers. And that I was really grateful for him and him speaking out about Asian American things. And yeah, and so that, and I think that meant something to him. I don't know him personally, but I felt like he was touched. Let's see. Crystal says the AC is on. He's wasting electricity by keeping the door open. It would only be open for like a minute. It's fine. I realize. So you can tell my husband never grew up in a house with AC because he and the children, I'm always telling them, you have to close the doors when the AC or the heater's on, because otherwise it takes longer to heat up and cool down your house. And I'm always yelling. I've turned into my parents. I'm always yelling at them for leaving the lights on. I'm always yelling at them for like not keeping doors closed to keep like the heat and the cool in. And I'm just like this really old, crotchety person. And yet, the pennies that we saved on electricity, I dropped like so much money on BTS merch. Oh, that reminds me, I still have to do an unboxing for my 2019 memories. And the last time I saw Crystal was in LA when she received her 2018 memories. So I remember we were in her car just after sushi and slightly drunk, like flipping through it and just sighing because it was beautiful. Let's see. Miss Hedger says, I think RM is husband material, meaning he's the only one that seems down to earth. I feel like all of them are husband material. And technically, anyone who's male and you're married to is a husband, so I guess they're husband material. Brianna says, I first found out about BTS in 2013, their debut year, but my sister helped me rediscover them in late 2017. I'm glad she did. What must it have been like? One of my friends also knew about, several of my friends also knew of BTS in 2013, but didn't really follow them too much, and then came in later. Emma says, I'm new to the Army, discovered them last year, November. Welcome, almost a year. Crystal says, yep, it feels like forever ago. And then, Southern Sassy says, awesome, that is so cool. I'm sure he did appreciate you telling him he made a difference. And he spent the whole time at the concert staring at my friend's boobs. As he should have, because her boobs are fantastic. Is that slander? Is that making things up? I don't know. Okay, so I'm going to read a fanfic because I'm indulgent to myself. And I actually really, really like this fic a lot. And I personally think it's a really sad story, but and I think it's because my emotions are broken. But it's a happy ending. So, and by that I mean they end up together. I'm sure there are happy endings in the story. I just did not write mature fic. This is not a mature. There are no sex scenes in this story, and I would feel embarrassed reading that out loud. Speaking of which, today my husband was like making fun of me and was like trying to say these like sexy things, and it was not sexy. It was embarrassing for all of us, and I told him to never speak to me like that ever again. So I feel like the things people say in fanfics are sexy when you read them, but if someone actually said that to me, I would just laugh in their face because that's what happened today. All right, so let's see. Hi, Oka. Thank you so much. Don't worry. You're just in time for me reading a fanfic. Mine. All right. Okay. I'm going to gear myself up. 5 times You don't believe in soulmates, but Min Yoongi does. I'm going to have the drink because I feel embarrassed. Oh, so cold, so cold. Old people teeth, so cold. All right. 1. Dusk. You do not believe in soulmates, not in the way Min Yoongi does. You resent the idea of people knocking about their lives abbreviated, doomed to a half-light in the small hours of the night, forever waiting in the gray until finally the sun. Before I forget, I'll put it in the chat if you can't stand, if you want to read along. Oh, some of you have read it, you lovely humans. All right. Of course, he doesn't know that. He only knows that you had shown up not 15 minutes ago at his front door during the blue hour looking for his roommate. Is Kim Seok-jin in? You had asked, direct and without preamble. It was late February, when winter clung tenaciously in the air despite spring within flirting distance. You had been wrapped up in a long, black off-brand padded coat from several seasons ago. How did you get in the building if he wasn't? Yoongi had queried, instead of answering. He really couldn't have been blamed for being wary. In college, Kim Seok-jin had had more than the prescribed allotment of people who had felt entitled to him on account of his face. As if, because Seok-jin had any choice but to walk around with that face, and because it was out there for the whole campus to see, they'd thought they deserved the rest of him too. If there is one thing Min Yoongi believes in more than soulmates, it is that no one deserves Kim Seok-jin. Kim Seok-jin is the God's grace to all humans, face or no face. I followed a delivery guy in, you had replied. Look, my cousin wants to set me up on a blind date with him and won't listen to reason. I figured if I just met the glorious Kim Seok-jin, then my cousin could no longer do so. Yoongi had just stared blankly at you, not quite following your logic. You know, on the account that we would have met already, so thus he could no longer set us up on a blind date. Is this some elaborate pun setup? You had stared at him as if he were a small child, albeit a stupid one. No, I'm trying to prevent an elaborate blind date setup. Keep up, ostensible roommate of Kim Seok-jin. Yoongi had felt obligated to defend his roommate, the erstwhile Kim Seok-jin. Why would it be so terrible to go on a date with Hyung? Look, no offense to your roommate, but if he needs to be set up on a date, he must be a disaster, right? You're being set up on a date. Are you a disaster? My cousin sure thinks so. How do you know? He outright said to me, last name your name, you're an actual disaster. Get your shit together. At your admission, Yoongi had looked you over again as if your outward appearance would betray your inner catastrophe. Apparently, you were adept in the ways of hiding an internal apocalypse. Nonetheless, he had been in the midst of preserving his friend's dignity and reputation. Frankly, Seok-jin Hyung doesn't require any assistance in the dating department, so I'm pretty sure the disaster is at most one-sided. Yoongi isn't a cruel person, so he had continued, for your benefit. But if your cousin thinks you'd be a good fit with Hyung, you're likely not so bad yourself. It's likely that he thinks you're spectacular. Well, of course he does. Park Jimin is my favorite cousin. Yoongi's head had spun from trying to connect with your dizzying logic. Ah, so you're Jiminy's infamous cousin, newly back from the States. The very one. You do realize that meeting Seok-jin Hyung doesn't preclude you from being set up on a date with him, and that just by meeting him, it's already like a blind date. You're playing right into Jimin's tiny, tiny hands. Yoongi hadn't been this amused in weeks, perhaps months, years even. Whose side are you on anyway? You had grumbled, hands punctuating the air with indignation. I literally just met you, last name your name, see? So is Kim Seok-jin in or not? Yoongi had just stepped aside to let you in the apartment. You had towed off your off-brand Uggs and had waited for him to lead you further into his home. Hyung, Yoongi had called. You have a visitor. Yeah, Yoongi, give me a moment. I'll be right out. You had beelined to the only bookshelf in the living room, and from the grimace on your face, had sorely disapproved of his Dragon Ball Z and Slam Dunk collections. Yoongi had briefly felt relieved that all his figurines were hidden in his room until he had remembered that this was his abode. How dare you? When Seok-jin had come out into the living room to greet his presumptuous guest, you had scanned him with quick efficiency before you'd returned to glowering at the bookshelf. Where is Naruto? And One Piece? Or Attack on Titan? You clearly have room on the shelf and for them, and yet instead you have plants and picture frames and empty space. Sukjin had been so surprised at your vehemence, he had barked out his trademarked windshield wiper laugh. He usually reserved that for when he had known people a little better, when they had been deemed worthy of his real self instead of his carefully cultivated social persona. I like plants and picture frames and empty space, Sukjin had chuckled. Naruto is in my room and Attack on Titan is in Yoongi's. I assure you, our otaku credentials are intact and in fact hanging on the walls of our bedroom if you should have need to verify in the course of your duties as chief gatekeeper. You had whipped your head to glare at Sukjin. I would think, with a face such as yours, you wouldn't need to resort to such obvious ploys to con a person into your bedroom. I was mostly doing so for Yoongi's benefit, Sukjin had quipped. But as for myself, everyone's usually so stupefied by my face that I must provide them semi-plausible reasons to enter my den of iniquity. Sukjin had sighed. After which I devour them whole. His feigned disdain had floated, light and airy. But you don't seem to have that problem. That I do not. Sukjin's mouth had twitched. Hyung, Yoongi had finally been able to interject. Last name your name, she, is Jimmy's cousin. Ah, the errant cousin makes her triumphant return. Why does everyone seem to know about me, and yet I have only recently heard about you? You had swept your eyes back to Yoongi, or at least one of you had amended. Sukjin had full-on guffawed this time, free and open, hand slapping his thigh. You had then clapped once, as if to make an important announcement, and in retrospect, Yoongi supposes you had. Well, now that I've met you, Kim Sukjin-si, we can now inform Jimin that there is no need to introduce us and send us on a blind date, as it can no longer be such, since we have now been acquainted, and do not suit, and thus can continue with our lives as previously. And in case it hadn't been clear, you had added, undisturbed. You had bowed politely and flicked one last scandalized glance at the empty space on their bookshelf and had headed for the front door. Wait, Sukjin had called out at the last moment. Have dinner with me. You had eyed him suspiciously. Why? Sukjin had snorted, and Yoongi would have likely taken offense on his roommate's behalf if it had not already been too late. He had become hopelessly smitten. Well, why should I be deprived of your brilliant company just because Park Jimin is a meddlesome brat? You had been silent for several beats, switching your regard from Sukjin to Yoongi, as if weighing your brief interactions with each man against the other. You had seemed unsure. I suppose you are not unattractive and have reasonable tastes in recreational reading. If there is one thing Min Yoongi believes in more than soulmates, it is that no one deserves Kim Sukjin, and so he had clung to that truism, that of course you had chosen his Hyung, because his Hyung was Kim Sukjin, but also that you did not deserve his beautiful Hyung. And when you realized that, someday you would choose him instead. You do not believe in soulmates, not the way Min Yoongi does. You'd be damned if you get caught in the gloaming. What would you do with yourself when your sun inevitably sets? Of course, he doesn't know that. He only knows that you had shown up not 15 minutes ago at his front door during the blue hour looking for his roommate. He only hopes that whatever red string tethering you together had enough give to run a few years longer before it snapped. All right, that was the first section. It's really long. And, let's see. Oh, Southern Sassy says, I love your fanfic. Thank you so much. And, I feel like that was really, really long. So I'm kind of embarrassed. I can continue reading. It'll probably be another 10, 15 minutes of me reading. Or we can just stop there and you can read the rest on your own. But yeah, so there's 4 other parts. It's in the link. And I feel like my voice is also going, so I don't know if I should read some more. But I guess, for someone who's super into herself, which is me, I feel embarrassed talking so much about myself. So anyway, Golden Haze. That's the loveliest thing. She says she cried when she read it. How do I say? Brinlia says, I have enjoyed reading your fanfic. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for everyone who's read my fanfic. it's super self-indulgent, and so I appreciate it. And I yeah, I'm kind of embarrassed, but also pleased. That's how I react to compliments: embarrassed but pleased. Um, and then oh, Emma says great fanfic. Thank you so much. All right, I'll let you guys, if you're interested in the rest of it, feel free to read it. It's like another 4,000 words, and it's one of my favorites because I feel like it's very sad. Something about it makes me sad. Oh, you want me to read on? You don't think it's like too self-indulgent to read? Oh, Beverly says, I love the one where Yoongi reads stories to Your Name's daughter. Say, thank you, so do I. Okay, if it's not obvious, I love Your Name. Okay, I'll read one more section, and if you guys want more, I'll see if I can do that. Brianna asks, when did you start writing fanfics? I'm curious. I started writing fanfiction in general with Alias, so that was like 2004, 2005. And then for BTS fanfics, I started writing in April. I had been wanting to because I felt like I love reading fanfics, especially if they're more like the older people writing it. But most of the fanfics are either in high school, which I felt uncomfortable reading about high school students having sex. I'm sure high school students have sex. I just never had sex in high school because no one wanted to have sex with me. And I was also like super Christian and just such a waste. And then, yeah, so I feel uncomfortable reading about, slightly uncomfortable, not like so uncomfortable I stopped reading it. And then a lot of them are also college, and college is great. I think it's a fertile time for fanfics, except BTS members are just above college, right? But I haven't been in college. I graduated in June of 1999, so it's been over 21 years since I've been in college. So I don't really relate to that. So I started writing BTS fanfics because I wanted to see them in. I wanted to see myself as a Your Name because most Your Names are red, white, and young, and I just wanted to see. And I always loved it when I saw. I mean, let's be real. People don't grow up in a vacuum. You're formed by your ethnicity, your sex, your race, your like all these things, right? So I really appreciated reading fanfics that had people of color as the Your Name, older Your Names, single mothers as Your Names, because I felt like it enriches fandom. It's expanding the type of stories being told, and I like that. And I'm all about representation. So Brianna says she graduated high school in 2009. That's when fanfics were at their peak for you. And then, Beverly says she cried at that one. Oh, thank you. I cried writing it. Okay, I'll read one more section. It might be a fast section. Okay. And I'll keep going, I guess. I can. Actually, I don't actually know what the battery life is on my phone. Let me check. I actually cannot see what my battery life is on my phone right now, so we'll see. All right. 2, midnight. Yoongi likes to say that it is always darkest before the dawn. You know that to be unequivocally false. Science, you had scoffed at him when he had first allowed that tripe to dribble out of his pretty, pretty mouth. It's a metaphor, he had retorted, cheeks pink and eyes shining. Well, it's inaccurate, you had scowled back. People should just say what they mean instead of talking in pictures. You and Hyung will work things out, he had proffered weakly. No, you had lamented. He will never forgive me. I've ruined everything. I don't deserve him. No one deserves him, Yoongi had appended, and yet he loves us anyway. He deserves to be loved, you had wailed. He deserves a girlfriend who doesn't break his cast iron skillet into uneven thirds. You can just buy him a new one, Yoongi had reasoned. It was a La Crusade. That's over 200,000 won. You had redoubled your whining. I may as well indenture myself to him for the rest of my life. You had paused. I am willing to indenture myself to him for the rest of my life. Some unnamed emotion had flickered across Yoongi's face. Do you need to borrow money? I can lend you some, and you can pay me back whenever. I don't need your filthy lucre. I have a job, you know. I'm not a wastrelling about, you had said after leveling him a stare full of contempt. Well, then what's the problem? He had shrugged. Just buy him a new skillet. You think you can replace a bond forged through fire just like that? I have shattered Excalibur, splintered the Elder Wand, and cracked the Moon Tiara. I am Judas. I am Brutus. I am desolate. Weren't you the one just sciencing me about metaphors? Your disdain had rolled off of you in hostile waves. It's not the metaphor itself, it's the accuracy. Mine are all appropriately scienced. You have not killed Hyung. Yet, Oppa, yet. I have not killed him yet. Your voice had come out muffled due to your hands covering your face. He doesn't know. Ah, well, yeah, you're fucked. Yoongi had stiltedly patted your back, failing to bite back a smile. Don't worry your name. I'll tell him I dropped it. You had heard his oof of complaint when you had squealed and hugged him so tight, so tight. You had ignored the way he had initially frozen, holding himself apart. You had ignored the way his face had twisted in pain for a brief moment and then had smoothed over into a congenial facsimile of serenity. That's hard to say. Sorry. Yoongi likes to say that it is always darkest before the dawn. You know that to be unequivocally false. You know because right before dawn is civil twilight, when the center of the sun is at most 6 degrees below the horizon, and twilight is at its brightest. You know because before civil twilight is nautical twilight, and before even that is astronomical twilight. By the time dawn approaches, the sun has long been heralded. It is not difficult to cling to hope until the center of the sun is at the horizon, when life is finally on the upswing. It is easier to move. You know Yoongi is full of shit because the darkest point before the dawn is midnight, smack in the center of 2 astronomical twilights, when the dark is absolute and seems the most hopeless, especially on a moonless night. You know because it is midnight, and there are at least 5 hours and 3 gradations of twilight to get through until sunrise. You and Hyung will work things out, he had said, voice strangled. No, Oppa, you had replied. No, we won't. He said that he loves me, but that he doesn't love me, that I deserve the love of a soulmate, and that he does too. Oh, was all Yoongi had said. What does that even mean? You had asked. You either choose to love and stay with someone, or you choose not to. What is this soulmate cop-out bullshit? Why doesn't he choose me like I choose him? You had not been able to bear asking your actual question. What about you is so wrong that people keep not choosing you? You had left their apartment that night in the hours of between and did not set foot back in for another 3 years. Yoongi likes to say that it is always darkest before the dawn. You know that to be unequivocally false. You know that Yoongi is full of shit because the darkest point before the dawn is midnight, when the center of the sun is at its nadir, exactly 180 degrees from your position. You do not believe in soulmates, not in the way Min Yoongi does, and apparently not in the way Kim Seok-jin does either. Okay, I'm switching back just to read a bit. Brinlia says, I love the diversity, and I think that is important to show all the different facets of the fans in fan fiction. Southern Sassy says, I love hearing the story in your voice. Oh, thank you so much. And Brinlia, I totally agree with you. I think it's awesome to see like the diversity of fandom. Miss Heju says, I like audiobooks, so it is a delightful session. Okay. Is it even still running? Sometimes my internet will crap out. Is it still working? Did it die? Oh, low battery. Let's see. Okay. I'm at like 20% battery. Is it back? Am I back? Is it back? Oh, I'm back? Yay! Okay. Oh, So I'm at like 20% battery. So I will try and get through as much of it as I can. Okay. So I won't stop and I'll keep reading. If I cut out because my phone died, I'm super sorry. Thank you so much for celebrating my birthday with me. And I will read to the end and not stop and then comment afterwards if my phone has not died. I started at 100%, folks. All right. 3. The small hours. You excise yourself from their lives so completely, it was as if you had never existed. In fact, were it not for the evidence of the cast iron skillet Seokjin still doesn't know you broke, Yoongi would wonder if he had instead dreamed of you entirely. He feels your absence so acutely, he is furious at your evanescence. He cannot unravel why Seokjin is not more heartbroken, even as he acknowledges that Seokjin is in his own brand of misery and loves you but doesn't love you. The knowledge of how Kim Seokjin knows you are not his soulmate and who yours could be, that kernel Yoongi suppresses, pushes deep down to no avail because daily, the fact that you were once a daily fixture resurges when he sees that stupid cast iron pan on the stove. Park Jimin does not drop by for months after in tacit reproof, his subtle monument to blood being thicker than water. When Jimin finally comes around, he brings several bottles of soju, and he and Seokjin drink deep into the small, still hours of night when the world is cast in grays and blues. When Jimin leaves late the next morning, he informs Yoongi you're okay before he cannot ask how you're doing. Hyung, you should call her, he says. Yoongi just grunts in acknowledgement. Jimin stops in the doorway and says again, you should call her, Hyung. She loves you too. Yoongi doesn't call you, and you, in turn, also do not call him. Yoongi cannot unravel why Seokjin was not more heartbroken until he sees his Hyung with Kim Namjoon for the first time, when he sees the red thread, loose and joyful, tying itself around their little fingers. If there's one thing Min Yoongi believes in more than soulmates, it is that no one deserves Kim Seokjin, and so he had clung to that truism. He clings to this truism until he meets Kim Namjoon, and then he releases this truth a priori into the wind. You should have told me, says Yoongi later in the quiet of their apartment. I love you for always, Hyung. Always. Yeah, Yoongi, is all Seokjin replies, shrugging his broad shoulders, resuming the silence. Yoongi regrets his words and tries again. I'm sorry, Hyung. Your life and your reasons are your own to keep. I know that Korea is many things, but it is not safe. He pauses and clears his throat. If you have need of me, I will always be a safe place for you. Seokjin pats Yoongi on the shoulder and goes to his room. Yoongi pulls up your contact information and hovers his thumb over the call button. You do not believe in soulmates, not in the way Min Yoongi does, and so, in the end, he slides his phone back into his pocket. He, too, retreats to his room. 4. Dawn. Yoongi likes to say that it is always darkest before the dawn. You know that to be unequivocally false. Yoongi also liked to say that he would always be there for you, but that too was a lie. It has been 3 years since you last spoke to Min Yoongi and Kim Seokjin. Of course, because your cousin is Park Jimin, and none too subtle, news of them both filter through to you occasionally. Jimin keeps inviting, and you keep refusing. Seoul is surprisingly small. It is easy to encounter people you know on a regular basis, especially if you know their haunts and habits. Thus, it stands to reason the opposite is also true. It is easy to avoid people if you know their haunts and habits. It is especially easy if you invent entirely new haunts and habits of your own. And thus you find yourself in a pretentious cafe you would have never found yourself patronizing 3 years ago, paying for overpriced burnt coffee. Your name, see? You hear a low, familiar rumble inquire. You tell yourself it's fine. Everything's fine. And turn toward the voice. And here you are in a pretentious cafe Min Yoongi would have never deigned to enter, greeting Min Yoongi for the first time in 3 years. But who's counting? Yoongi-shi, you say back. You're fine. You're fine. It's been 3 years. Friends come and go all the time. Be grateful for the time you had. It's good to see you, your name, see, he says politely. You blank, and then realize it's your turn in the awkward social dance. It's good to see you too. You take a careless sip of your coffee, hissing when it burns your lips and tongue. You all right there? He asks, a laugh just under the surface. You scowl at your offending beverage and reply, yeah, I just won't be able to taste anything for the next few days. Want a sip of my iced Americano? He offers, holding out his drink. Oh, it's okay. You refuse, flustered. I actually have to go, but it was nice to see you, Yoongi-si. Be well, you rush out, determined to never return to this place. We should catch up sometime, Yoongi mentions before you can escape. I've missed seeing you around. Your face immediately clouds over, and Yoongi winces. I'm sorry, your name. That was a really stupid thing to say, and I'm an ass, he apologizes. You nod. How is Seokjin-si, you ask, to smooth things over, to seem as if you're fine. Everything's fine. He's good. That's good, you nod again. I really do have to go. That is a lie. You had planned on sitting at a table to savor your coffee and read a bit, soaking in the bustle and ambient sounds of other people before you return to your tiny, empty apartment. You resign yourself to a more solitary than planned Saturday morning. I'm so sorry, your name, C. Yoongi blurts out suddenly. You stare, somewhat stunned at his apology. Once more, you nod. You're a very good nodder. You are an expert at nodding. Your tongue does not work because it throbs. I'm sorry I never reached out to check on you, he continues quietly. I wanted to, but I didn't know if you wanted to hear from me, so I did nothing instead. And then too much time had passed, and it seemed better to leave things alone. You forced a wan smile and nod. You could give a TED Talk on the art of nodding and say, it's okay. Your eyes dart to the exit, hoping to finally be free of this consternating morn. I really did miss you and would love to catch up sometime if you're free. Would you be open to that? It says a lot about your mental state that you agree with, you guessed it, yet another nod, and this time you manage to convey the end of the discomforting interaction and finally remove yourself to the blessed outside where Min Yoongi is not. Yoongi used to say that he would always be there for you, but after the conversation when you had told him Seokjin had ended things, he had disappeared. He had disappeared so thoroughly that you had wondered if he had ever existed. I don't actually know how to read text, so this is a text from Min Yoongi. Are you free tomorrow? You study Yoongi's text. You are barely down the block from that pretentious cafe and yet another 2 blocks from the bus stop. You leave him on read. You do not consider his text the entire wait for your bus. You do not think about his text the 8 stops until you get off. You do not reply to his text the 3 blocks back to your apartment. You do not obsess over his text at all while you sip your now cold coffee or when you get up to microwave it, or when you burn your tongue again on your now too hot coffee. You do not respond until the next morning with a regretful, sorry, lost track of time and forgot to respond, can't today. A blatant falsehood. You know exactly the time. You know he knows you know. You do not suggest a rain check. You do not suggest a better day. You do nothing except wait and see. No worries. What about next weekend? You leave him once again on read. Are you really going to leave me on read for the next 8 days and then say you lost track of time again? Shit. It's impolite to point out people's faults. Only if you're strangers. There was no polite response to that. Oh, don't hold back on my account. I can practically hear you already. You don't know me, and I don't know you. Not anymore, anyway, and maybe we never did. That's fair. I am sorry, you know, more than you'll ever know. It doesn't matter. Yes, I can see that. What do you want from me? To get to know you again, and maybe for you to get to know me. Are you going to keep harassing me until I agree? Please accept my apologies again. I do not know if you want me to prove myself by being undeterred at a little scheduling difficulty, or if you truly think I'm harassing you. I will err on the side of safety. I won't bother you again. If you change your mind, please reach out. I hope you are well. Well, there was no way he was going to make you the asshole here. Saturday, same cafe, 10 a.m. You're buying. Don't be late. Okay, see you then. Yoongi used to say that he would always be there for you, but he had disappeared when you needed him most, when Seokjin had broken up with you. It felt like you had lost 2 oppas instead of just the one. You had understood they were roommates after all, from college at that. Of course, he had chosen Seokjin. You wonder if he would still. Yoongi shows up the next Saturday at the pretentious cafe he would never have entered 3 years ago, prior at 10 a.m. on the dot. You both make polite conversation for the first 15 to 20 minutes, and after that, you let yourself get pulled into the soothing familiarity of his low, grumbly drawl. Yoongi asks to meet up the following Saturday at the pretentious cafe he would have mocked from the outside 3 years ago. You agree. Yoongi shows up the following Saturday and the Saturday after that. Yoongi shows up at the same time, same cafe, every Saturday for the next 3 months. You both make polite conversation for the first 15 to 20 minutes, and then you allow yourself to follow where he leads you with his voice, sonorous and deep as ever. Yoongi asks if you are free for lunch after your Saturday morning coffee is drawing to a close. You are, but you lie and say you are not. You know he knows you are lying, because not 30 minutes ago, you had complained about a friend canceling the lunch you were supposed to be having with her. You ignore the disappointment on his face as you say, "See you next Saturday?" He nods. Yoongi is also an expert at nodding. Park Jimin, however, is an expert at meddling, and you tell him so when he scolds you on the phone, not even over text, at how you're an actual disaster and to get your shit together. This is uncalled for, Oppa. I'm your favorite cousin. It's because you're my favorite cousin. It will be weird. He and Seokjin Oppa... Seokjin Hyun knows your name. He's always known. Park Jimin is an expert at meddling, and thus you find yourself at Min Yoongi's front door 3 years after the last time you saw it, looking for Min Yoongi. Here's the thing, you say when Yoongi opens his door to your insistent doorbell ringing. Park Jimin wants to set me up on a date with you, and it won't listen to reason. I figure if we just have dinner now, then my cousin can no longer do so. Yoongi just stares blankly at you, not quite following your logic. You know on the account that we would have already gone on a date, so thus he could no longer set us up. Is this some elaborate pun setup? You stare at him as if he were a small child, albeit a stupid one. No, I'm trying to prevent an elaborate first date setup. Keep up, Min Yoongi. Yoongi feels obligated to defend his expert meddling friend, the erstwhile Park Jimin. Why would it be so terrible to go on a date with me? Look, no offense, but if you need to be set up on a date, you must be a disaster, right? You're being set up on a date. Are you a disaster? My cousin sure thinks so. How do you know? He outright said to me, "You're an actual disaster. Get your shit together." So here I am, getting my shit together. Since Yoongi had been in the midst of preserving his dignity and reputation, he says, "Frankly, I don't require any assistance in the dating department, so I'm pretty sure the disaster is at most one-sided." Yoongi then adds, "For your benefit. But if your cousin thinks you'd be a good fit with me, you're likely not so bad yourself. It's likely you're spectacular." Well, of course I am. You do realize that us having dinner does not preclude you from future dates with me. You're playing right into Jimin's tiny, tiny hands. Why should I be deprived of future dates with you just because Park Jimin is a meddlesome brat? You do not believe in soulmates, not in the way Kim Seokjin does, but when you finally see Kim Seokjin with Kim Namjoon, you understand it was never about belief. It was never about choosing. You both laugh and cry when Seokjin introduces you to Namjoon as the only person strong enough to destroy his cast iron skillet. He hugs you and whispers, "I'm glad you're back." You whisper back, "Me too." All of you except Namjoon ignore Jimin as he preens in the corner, giggling behind his tiny, tiny hands. When Yoongi asks if you want to live with him after Seokjin finally moves in with Namjoon, you agree only if he promises to clear the bookshelf of offensive plants, picture frames, and empty space, and allow you to add your collection of Death Note in their stead. After Yoongi relays your insolence to the group, Seokjin barks his trademark laugh, protesting. "Those are my plans, picture frames and empty space." "Well, they're Namjoon Oppa's problem now," you snark. "They certainly are," Namjoon chuckles gently. "They certainly are." Okay, let me stop and check to see if I'm still there. Am I back again? Let me see. Did I cut out? Am I back? Is it gone? Is it still doing? I have 10% left. Is it back? Is it back? Yay, okay. Did you guys miss the whole part? Or was it okay? Okay. So I'm sorry if you missed parts of it. Okay, I have one more section. It's almost done. And then I think my phone will die because it's at 10%. All right, 5, midday. I'm going to read fast. You do not believe in soulmates, not in the way Min Yoongi does. You resent the idea of people knocking about their lives abbreviated, doomed to a half-light in the small hours of the night, forever waiting in the gray until finally the sun. You'd be damned if you get caught in the gloaming, What would you do with yourself when your sun inevitably sets? Of course he knows that. He knows you had shown up near the end of some February at his front door during the blue hour, looking for his roommate. My husband's back with my loud children. Finding him instead. He knows that the night is darkest at midnight, when the dawn is not yet a foregone conclusion. He knows that no one deserves Kim Suk-jin, except perhaps Kim Nam-joon, and though you had originally chosen Suk-jin, he hopes that someday you will choose him when the red thread linking you two pulls taut. You do not believe in soulmates, not in the way Min Yoongi does. You choose people, and you keep choosing them. There is no fate or red thread about it. When you tell this to Yoongi, he says he cannot see the difference. Yoongi knows all these things when he asks you to marry him, and you say yes, because why should you be deprived of a future with him just because Park Jimin is a meddlesome brat? Jimin gloats an unreasonable amount and takes all the credit at the wedding. Yoongi doesn't even flinch when later, a very inebriated Jimin hauls him into a tight embrace and murmurs, "Welcome to the family, Hyung. You hurt her again, and they will never find your body." Yoongi doesn't tell you what Jimin says, because if Jimin has to murder him, the very least he could do is provide you plausible deniability. "I'm so happy you greeted me when you saw me at that cafe," you say, swaying only slightly against him. "Yeah? Yeah." "I have a secret," Yoongi mumbles. "I knew I would find you there that morning." "Jiminy Oppa?" "The very one. Maybe we should call him the old man under the moon." "I thought you didn't believe in soulmates," he teases into your ear. "I don't, but I would be a fool not to believe in Park Jimin. You turn to face your husband. I believe in you too." Yoongi merely kisses you, soft and sweet. You do not believe in soulmates, not the way Min Yoongi does, but you believe in Min Yoongi. You believe in him, and he believes in you, enough for you to choose him and for him to choose you, from twilight to twilight, from nadir to zenith, unto the end and back again. All right. Thank you for listening. The Old Man in the Moon references the Chinese god in charge of fate. There's a myth that says soulmates are linked together by a red thread. And yeah. So thanks for listening. Thanks for indulging me. I think my phone's going to die. My children are home. I hope everyone stays safe. And thank you so much for watching and for being a part of my channel. I look forward to all your comments whenever I post a video, and I really appreciate you, and I am so grateful to you for celebrating my birthday early with me. All right. Bye. I love you. Oh, am I going to do like the K-pop thing? This is what I do instead. All right.